to the WIHS Journal. On the broadcast with us today, we'll meet missionary Rosie Dinnerline talking about the Shakan Global Ministries. Well, today in the WIHS studio, we are so blessed to have Rosie Dinnerline, and she is from the Shakan Global Mission Center. So excited to be hearing about her mission, her heart for people in other countries. And so, Rosie, tell us how you did get involved with Global Mission, first of all. Thank you so much for coming here to the studio, by the way. And then you could tell us how you got involved with Global Mission.
Well, thank you for this opportunity. Actually, Shakan Global Mission was birthed out of two different mission trips that I went to Uganda. The first was in 2015. And the way I had gotten there was through a prayer partner of mine. As we were praying, she had a picture of African women making aromatherapy products. I had just started an aromatherapy business, and she said, and there's going to be healing from the inside out, that I would share my testimony of how Jesus had helped me to overcome trauma, and that they would be making products. When she shared that with me, I was stunned, because I never, ever thought about going to Africa before in my life.
Of course.
And, so as I prayed and I realized that my church had a mission trip planned 6 months later in August. So I decided to go just to explore, God, what is this about? Well, on my way, right before going to Uganda, I went to the travel clinic at Yukon, and they recommended an insect repellent that was natural called Repel. Well, when I went to Uganda, I realized that the active ingredient, lemon eucalyptus, grows in Uganda. And, I was just questioning the Lord, why are these people dying of malaria when they have the very plants to help them, to prevent them from, getting bit and getting malaria? And they have citronella and lemongrass, lemon eucalyptus. These are all insect-repelling plants. So I just felt in my spirit that I want you to come here and make a difference. And I knew that I was going to have Uganda as a home someday.
Wow, how exciting. I love when God orchestrated that. He knew there was going to be a trip 6 months later. I love that. So tell us about the mission, why you chose to use Uganda. What was so significant about that?
Well, it was by default because the picture that she had gotten was African women. And so the opportunity arose for me to go to Uganda with my church. And they had a choir from the Kampala Children's Center before at my church. So there was a connection there.
What is it like in Uganda, and what are the living and spiritual conditions?
Uganda is a rich land. It's got the beautiful Lake Victoria. It has waterfalls, beautiful waterfalls. The land is rich. And yet in the midst of it, there's heart-wrenching poverty.
Describe the poverty.
Next to the mission center, which we're building, there's a school. We have given educational supplies because in Uganda, school is not free. The parents need to pay. And if they're not able to afford it, then they don't go to school. So when they really struggle, we're trying to help support them. And for the girls that are menstruating, if they aren't able to afford sanitary pads, they stay home and they miss school.
Wow.
So we incorporated that in giving the school supplies.
Yeah, nice.
And my friend who, the project manager, the co-founder of the organization in Uganda, when they were giving the sanitary pads, and she met one of the girls afterwards, she realized she didn't even have underwear. So she couldn't even use the sanitary pads that we had. So there are things that we just don't even think about. It can be difficult to get clean water. There's, typhoid and malaria is a common, disease. But there's such opportunity at the same time. So that's why, we're setting up the mission center, is to be amongst the people and also to be vessels of changing the poverty mindset because of it's generational.
Yes.
And unless they're shown something different, and because they're so gifted, and just to be encouraged and have somebody walk alongside them and let them know Jesus loves you and has given you talents, and you can use them.
What can our community do, our listeners, to help your God-given love and vision for these children of Uganda, of Africa?
Right now, we are looking for volunteers. We're a new organization. We've only been established since 2022, and we're still developing and growing. So we're looking for volunteers primarily, and launched a child sponsorship program last night, by the way.
Nice. Yep.
And so we're looking for people to help to coordinate that, looking for a long-term volunteer to field questions, to match the profiles. We're also video editors. If anyone has the skill of editing videos, to keep the people who are supporting us updated on what's happening. Also, donor development, send emails, thank yous, and make phone calls to follow up. And we want to be relational with our partners, and so having volunteers to help us to be relational would be really helpful.
Awesome. Now tell us about the child sponsorship, because that could be something easy. It's something, what's your vision with that?
Shakan Global Mission is connected with another organization in Uganda called Shakan Mission Uganda.
Okay.
So the team there profiled 31 students. We're starting small because we're still a small organization, but then we hope to grow. And so the headmistress of the school next door identified the children that were most in need. So the school sponsorship, $40 a month, covers the education, the school supplies, including sanitary pads, and a Bible. We also will be having activities during their vacation, so it covers, those costs. It's not just about child sponsorship with education, but we're also empowering the community. The whole approach of education plus changing the community that they live in.
What are some of the strides you have already made? What kind of impact have you made already?
Along with Shakan Mission Uganda team, they're the team on the ground in Uganda, we are building a mission center. And the purpose of the mission center is to host safe accommodations for volunteers to serve in the community. There are actually over 350 missionaries in a Facebook group for the town of Jinja alone.
Wow.
Yeah. So the idea of having, a place to accommodate teams of people to serve, that's one. Also, the purpose is to provide trainings in business development, Bible studies, prayer meetings. We've designed a prayer garden. And, for people to come and pray. The presence of God is so strong there. It's amazing.
I love it. I love that prayer garden. That's awesome. Yeah, you really made your footprint there, huh?
Yeah, and then also we just purchased land for an agricultural training farm with sustainable plants and teaching the local people how to raise farm animals sustainably so that they can make a living for themselves. And then they'll be able to support their own children for educational fees.
Any other details that you would like our listeners to know about this organization, your mission, your heart, before we close and give some of the contact details?
The people of Uganda are just beautiful people. And it's a blessing to be a blessing. So if, any way that you would come alongside to donate your time, talents. We also have a prayer team. Those are ways that you can bless the people. And one thing that I've learned so much about them stepping out in faith, we can learn from each other when we come alongside each other.
Yes, yes. So provide the contact details, how they can contact you if they want to volunteer. Like you said, you need video editing, emails, prayer partners. How can they contact you? Or is there a website? Provide the details.
Sure. The website is shakanglobal.org. shakanglobal.org.
Once again on the broadcast with us was Rosie Dinnerline, talking about the Shakan Global Ministries, located in Africa, but facilitated by individuals here in Connecticut. If you would like to have more information about the ministry or be part of it, you can give us a call here at WIHS at 860-346-1049. I'm Vanessa Porticelli for News and Public Affairs.